Mom, why is the sky red? That's the Northern Lights, children. A lie, after which 23 villages disappeared. In 1957, a nuclear waste reservoir exploded over the Chelyabinsk region. In our history, this is the third largest nuclear disaster after Hiroshima and Chernobyl. The residents thought they were seeing a rare aurora, and the local newspapers wrote that the magnetic storms were actually 20 million curies of radiation that settled on the ground where children played. Dr. Angelina Guskova recalls, children were born with deformities. No one was allowed to tell the truth. It was a state secret. The radioactive cloud stretched for 300 kilometers at a speed of 25 kilometers per hour. Moscow was informed only a day later, and Khrushchev was furious. But not because a disaster had occurred, but because the secret city, which did not exist on any map but was so important for nuclear weapons production, might be discovered. And immediately, an operation to cover up the incident began. Doctors and specialists were forbidden to use the word radiation. It was replaced with the term special illness. Local residents were given various explanations for the evacuation. Anthrax, scheduled drills, planned resettlement. Houses were buried along with belongings and furniture, wells were filled with concrete, and the top layer of soil was removed. Thousands of liquidators died anonymously. Construction battalions, gulag prisoners, conscripted soldiers, because they worked without special protection. And later, in the 1960s, they created a secret medical center, the Clinical Department No. 4, where these people have been observed for decades as test subjects. They took samples, studied the development of cancer, and cell mutations. But people were told that these were just preventive checkups. Dr. Margarita Kosenko admitted, "We really did help people, but we couldn't tell them why they were getting sick, why children were being born ill. We knew the reason and kept silent." That was the hardest part. 30 years of silence. Soviet science studied radiation on living people. People only learned about the disaster in 1989 from the newspaper Izvestia. People found out that they had lived their whole lives on contaminated land and that their illnesses were not genetic but caused by radiation. Raisa Churakova, the last resident, said before her death in 2003, "I don't understand why we were lied to. We survived war and hunger, repression. We would have understood. We were strong, but they didn't consider us worthy of the truth." That is the most hurtful thing of all. It wasn't the radiation that killed us, it was the lies. But something similar is happening now, because we still haven't learned. The truth is more important than secrecy, and human life is more important than any politics. Scientists have discovered that right now, a magma plume the size of Australia is rising beneath Siberia, and if it breaks through to the surface, the consequences will affect not only Russia, but the entire planet. But for some reason, the government in Russia is officially keeping this quiet and silencing anyone who talks about it. The question is, who is behind this, and who doesn't care about human lives? And a question for the people, aren't you tired of staying silent and being afraid? After all, life is worth fighting for, especially the lives and future of our children.